Hi, I'm Pete Agnew with Nazareth, and you're watching CMS TV.
It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That is brand new stuff from Ross the Boss. The new record is Born of Fire. The new song that we just played there is I Am the Sword. And here to cut us up with that sword is the guitarist himself of Ross the Boss. It is Ross the Boss. How are you, man?
What's up?
Dude, it is always great to speak to you, and it's always great to speak to you when there's new music, man, because it really seems like you have just caught fire, whether it's with Ross the Boss or with Death Dealer. I mean, you're arguably on the hardest hitting run you've had since, the original days.
Yeah, it seems like that. We've been working hard. The band has really been playing the past 3 years, and the whole RTB thing since the Keep It True festivals, the one that really started it all, like in 2012, I think, yeah.
Right.
And, it's just, the whole thing is just keeping going because we refuse to quit. We refuse to lose. People are digging the shows, and people love the last record we made, and this record is like, beyond, it's over the moon. So
no, it seems like, if nothing else, you have, with each record, you've increased the ferocity of the records. I think there's a preconception that I think, and this, that everybody comes into thinking that it's going to sound like Manowar, and it doesn't. Yeah. It does not. It's much heavier, and it really gives you a chance to spread out as a guitar player. No.
Sure does. It's because also the band is so tremendous. We've had as I said before, we just had 2.5 years with this exact lineup on the road, pounding it, and the trust factor is very, very big here. And, we really like each other, and the shows are amazing. And the songwriting process was fantastic this time, really great. And, I was worried about it because it's so soon after the last record by Bloodsworn. I was like, I don't have all these songs ready, because the record company said, if you guys want to tour, like in 3 weeks in Europe, the whole month, you, meaning us, need a new record. And I go, what?
Right.
Already? And it's the reality of the music business, and we did it. So
sure,
yeah,
sure. Now you talked a little bit about the short turnaround between By Bloodsworn and Born of Fire, and that comes after a long gap. With Hailstorm, that was what, 7-8 years before By Bloodsworn. Does this incarnation, I guess, of Ross the Boss feel like almost like a different band from the first things that you were doing when you started under that moniker?
Yeah, well, the first band was the German guys,
right?
Who I love them, and they're really good. They were very good, and we did 2 really pretty cool records, and nothing shabby about the new metal leader in Hailstorm. But so after that, I did Death Dealer. I did the 2 records with Death Dealer. And a lot of touring with the Dictators NYC and blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So, but this record is really something else. I mean, I got to tell you, I don't know. It's just the right combination of songs, the right combination of musicians. Just, we're turning it up notches.
Right. Sure. Now,
we're squeezing it, we really turned up the pressure.
Right, definitely.
So, we're really happy with it.
Well, Ross, from listening to the new release, Born of Fire, the one thing that really jumps out is that it does feel more cohesive, as a project. Not that the other ones didn't, but this, like you said, it comes a lot from being, in the band and touring a lot. For you, did you change anything about the way things were written, or was there more involvement from everybody in the writing process, or is it just solely from being together and touring more?
Well, beside being together a lot and touring many shows, many festivals, big ones, little ones, big gigs, little gigs, because we had such a fast turnaround, we recorded the record differently this time.
Okay.
Right. By Bloodsworn was recorded. We worked up the music in a rehearsal room.
Okay.
With my nephew Lance on drums and Mike LePond and Mark. So, we didn't have the time or the luxury to do that this time. So we had to. What we did was we started out with really great demos.
Right.
We wrote demos. We recorded demos, and then we refined them, and then we took those demos into the studio, and Steve played over the demos,
Okay.
and that's what you're hearing. And then we did the guitar, then we did the bass, a lot of them.
Right. Definitely.
So, I don't think I will ever go to a rehearsal room again.
Okay.
To work out the whole thing. You never know, but I would say the way we did it this time is a winner.
Sure. Would you say that it's the pressure of having to do it in such a short term that gave you that much more energy and that much more fire to the playing?
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's something to be said for that, Chris. I mean, we had to do it. We had to get this record out, and we had deadlines. And in order to put out a major record, those mechanical parts have to be in very early.
Sure.
To the factory and the mastering and the artwork, and to order to have a March 6th release in time for our tour, everything had to go right. There had to be no fuck ups. We had to deliver, including the artwork, and we did it. We busted our asses. Let me tell you something.
No question, man.
We busted our asses. Mark Lopes, I gotta give him all the props in the fucking world. He wrote the lyrics to 12 of these songs. And I told him, I said, do not hand me a finished song without hooks and hits, or metal hooks, in every single song. Do not offend me like that.
Right.
And he goes, yeah, I know what you mean. I go, listen, I'm serious. I will not accept it. This band will not accept a song without hooks and hits in it.
No question.
So, he came through. He's very, very smart. He's very, very imaginative. He came up with these amazing lyrics, amazing hooks, and he has to have all the props to it because the singing is what you're hearing. I mean, that's
sure.
basically the song. And when you have Fight the Fight, Mike LePond wrote Fight the Fight, the music.
Okay.
Right? Mark comes up with Fight the Fight, never, it's like, what the fuck? That's amazing. I mean, God, the song you just played, I Am the Sword.
Yeah.
I am the sword. Na, 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 na. It just keeps repeating. The songs and the hooks keep repeating. Denied by the Cross. You can hear them in every single song. And that's what I wanted, and that's what we have to have.
Sure.
So many metal acts. I go, I see them. I can't remember a freaking song.
Right. Well, and that's the thing about today is, for whatever reason, today's musician, the modern metal, I'll call it, has forgotten what made traditional metal so encompassing to the fans, which was throwing that hook in there. Look, I'm a 50-year-old guy, and when I hear metal, what I want to get to, I don't even know the words half the time except for the choruses where my fist is in the air and I'm going, yeah, fuck yeah, man.
Listen, we just played with KK Downing at Bloodstock this summer.
Okay.
Right. And breaking the what?
Yeah.
Breaking the what? And we did 4 tunes, and the crowd knows the music. They know it.
Mm-hmm.
They want to sing that song back at you.
Right.
And I want my fans to sing my songs back at me. Our songs,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we've achieved on this record, and that's why I'm so happy. And not just that, it's just the sound's amazing. I just, I can't give enough credit to Sieb Lieberman in Germany from Orden Orgain, and he just did an amazing job. I mean, everyone involved in the record really came through. Right? Sure. I got to tell you,
they certainly did. Look at your screen right now. If you're tired of the hide-and-seek games with big tech, where links disappear and episodes get throttled, I've got the fix. I'm Chris Aiken, and it's time for me to show you how to take back your access to the Classic Metal Show, the Seth Williams Show, and Chris Aiken Presents. Pick up your phone, go to the App Store or Google Play, and download the Locals app. It is 100% free. Once you're in, just search for the CMS Network. You're going to see everything. Every interview, every unfiltered rant, every deep dive music discussion, every uncensored news article we put up, all in one centralized, uncensored hub. No more chasing links across 5 different socials. This is our home. But if you really want the keys to the kingdom, look for that VIP upgrade. For just $4.99 a month, you're cutting out the commercials, getting the advanced drops before anyone else, and accessing bonus episodes that are way too heavy, dirty, or we just don't want to share with the free public. For the price of a cheap beer, you're supporting independent, unapologetic media. Download the Locals app today. Get some CMS wherever you are. And if you're a real one, join the VIP squad at classicmetalshow.locals.com. The Classic Metal Show and the CMS Network. It's uncensored. It's unapologetic. We will see you there. Now the one guy, obviously is a pro's pro is Mike LePond, who you mentioned. And, he and everybody knows Symphony X, but this guy is one of the most underrated creative guys I think I've ever experienced. How much creativity does he bring to you guys, as far as not only his playing, but offering ideas in all aspects of the music?
Well, if it wasn't for Mike LePond, this record couldn't have happened.
Okay.
Mike is one of my dearest friends and partners, and he came in. We worked on my songs together. We increased the parts on it. He had, endings and middles, and he came up with all this stuff, and it was so incredible. I just come up with. I'm a real sometimes I come up with many parts, but sometimes I don't. And we got to put this in here, and let's put this in here, and
right. Let's
take from this part and this part. His arranging skills is incredible. It's incredible, and right. his songwriting is amazing. He does so many other projects, Silent Assassins. He's on the new Dead Risen band. He's
right.
on another AF. He's everywhere. And he deserves to be everywhere. So as far as I'm concerned, he is the finest bass player in the world. He is on par with John Entwistle, mm-hmm. Jack Bruce, and Geezer Butler. In that, he's right up there in that lofty altitude of bass playing.
Sure.
He is just incredible. I can't say enough about my band. They make me better because they are better,
Sure.
and that's just the way it is,
sure.
and me, I'm not the ego trip,
right.
kind of guitar player to stand on one side of the stage and the rest of the guys stand on the other side of the stage like someone we know. And, it's just not that kind. I'm not that kind of person. I think
right.
the strength of the band is what people react to. So, I'm a real happy man these days. I really am. I think the band sounds great. The band's great live, and the songs. It's just,
Well, it's a. For me as a fan, I will definitely say this is the best release that has Ross the Boss's name on it for for a lot of reasons, but for the probably the biggest reason for me, again as a fan, is that the previous Ross the Boss releases were kind of straightforward. From start to end, it was just pummel. You guys really did a lot of diversifying on Born of Fire. You got songs like Maiden of Shadows as an example, which has a very proggy type of a feel to it. But
that's written by Stu Marshall, by the way.
Okay. Yeah,
yes.
and it's a great tune, but it's a different vibe. And then there's other tunes, Shotgun Evolution or Glory to the Slain, that are very thrashy and very in your face. It's kind of more than on the other releases, it's the first time you've kind of roller coastered the music, where there's a lot of peaks and valleys to pull you through instead of just, the other releases you got to be on 10 going in. This one you could start slow and it pulls you in and takes you on a trip, more or less.
Yeah. Even though Glory of the Slain just punches you right in the face.
Right.
Yeah. No, like I would say that the diversity is the strength, one of the strengths of the record. It's all under the umbrella of heavy metal, of hard rock, heavy metal. I've even seen some reviews calling this like a punk edge to a punk edge.
Mm-hmm.
And then how are they surprised? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Look who's playing. Right. But it's the diversity, I think, makes it stronger. When you have Blackest Heart, I think that's one of the best. I think that's so good.
Mm-hmm.
The way we put the crackle on it, and
right.
And it's a great way to end it. I think it's a great way to begin. Glory to the Slain and Blackest Heart is a great way to end it. And everything in between that is just mayhem.
Right. It definitely is, man. Well, Ross, not a secret, you're also the lead guy in Death Dealer, which seemed, at least outside looking in, seems like it is extremely well received by critics and fans. Yeah. And yet you went back to doing Ross the Boss, and Sean's obviously doing, Three Tremors right now.
But I have some news for you.
Okay.
The third record is done.
Oh, nice.
It's done. It's in the can. We're ready to put it out. And we're ready to put the record out. It's fantastic. And it's probably going to come out this summer somehow.
Okay.
Either on a label or Sean's Steel Cartel distribution. So if you hadn't known that, that's what's going on with that.
I didn't, and it just seemed weird to me that you guys wouldn't have kept going more with Death Dealer. That you're obviously doing other stuff. Collectively you're all doing other stuff. It just
right.
it seemed like Death Dealer was catching a little bit of traction.
It is. It still is.
Okay.
I mean, it's an amazing. It's a great band. A great 2 records. And I guess who played bass on it?
I'm going to guess Mike LePond.
He guessed right.
Nice.
Mike played. Steve's the drummer. So Death Dealer is 3/5 Ross the Boss.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we have a very it's a family.
Sure.
The whole deal, and there's no competition whatsoever. Sean's got the 3 Tremors, and he's really he's branding it very well. That he's doing a great job of that. And he's got Cage, 3 Tremors. I mean, he's got a lot of things going. I just saw an action figure, a Marvel action figure of Hell Destroyer.
Nice.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's going to be for sale soon. And so Sean is just very, very active fellow.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
Really, yeah.
Well,
And so that's happening. And so I have other news. The original Dictators is recording.
Oh, wow. Jeez. You are busy.
Yeah. There's more news. The original Dictators, it's me, Andy Chernoff, and Scott Kempner, top 10. The 3 original Dictators. Mr. Manitoba is no longer in the fold.
Okay.
And the drummer is Albert Bouchard from Blue Oyster Cult.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So we have like that going. I'm recording this week with them. Recording this week on music. Shaken Street has been playing. Shaken Street did 15 shows in France last year, and we're going to do shows at the end of the summer in Europe.
Dude, do you sleep or do you just play guitar all the time? Jesus.
I am a busy fellow. Plus I run a business.
Right.
I run my batting cage in Middle Village, and but it keeps me moving. It keeps me going. It keeps me. I don't know. I don't stop. I don't know what it is. I have fun. I'm just having fun doing the whole thing. Working hard is I'm a workaholic anyway. So
right.
Working hard to me is the right thing to do. I hate days off. I can't stand them. There's got to be something I could do. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at myself, but it's a great thing. There's always something I could fix. There's always something I can write. I could play. I can,
Yeah.
I don't know, somebody I could help. One of my friends. There's always something I can do, and life is good, and I'm healthy, and I feel great.
Yeah.
So I'm playing with great people and my friends, and that's what more can I ask for? I mean, I'd like a little more money at it right now, but who wouldn't?
Right.
But I'm sure the next level of economic. I mean, we're doing all right, but I think the next level is on the horizon for everybody. And judging from the response to the record, and I think the tour is going to be amazing in Europe. If there's no major pandemic outbreak,
right?
Which no one has any control over.
Right, exactly.
And, but everything looks like it's going to happen. So the only place I don't think we can go is Milan. So,
right.
But nothing has been canceled yet. Everything is on. We know exactly what the story is, and the tour is with Burning Witches.
Okay.
And their record dropped on Friday, like ours, and Mike and I played on their version of Battle Hymns. And we have another band called Somville. They're nuts. They're three crazy rock and roll guys from England. They're great. And so the tour is going to be amazing. And just to be able to work, I'm working, every single day. Obviously, my schedule is with the interviews. It's just everybody wants to talk to the boss man now.
Well, that's a good problem to have, man.
It is a good problem when they don't want to say fuck. Well, let's not fuck that.
Yeah. Stop digging through the noise and get the metal that actually matters. I'm Chris Aiken, and I'm taking 30 years of industry access directly to your inbox. The Classic Metal Show is officially on Substack, and we're talking world-class interviews here, the unfiltered truth on the latest releases, and the kind of deep dive commentary you simply won't find anywhere else. Listen or watch for free, or step it up to the VIP level for exclusive content that's too heavy for the mainstream. No algorithms, no gatekeepers, just pure high-octane rock and metal history in the making. Own your metal. Join us right now at cmspn.substack.com. That's cmspn.substack.com. We'll see you there. Exactly. When you go 2 or 3 years without an inquiry, that's the problem, isn't it?
You guys better start worrying about that. But we're really happy. The band is worked hard, and I said, guys, if we just do this, let's get to the next level.
Sure.
And everybody's down for it. They see what's at stake. And we know that music is, live music is very competitive. There's plenty of places for people to put their money into. And I know that people want to invest in my band, come to the shows, buy our merchandise. We won't let them down. We never let them down. And, and the one thing about me is I'm a really friendly guy.
Sure.
And I'm the kind of guy that I stay there and shake hands and sign everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that people want me to do. I give every one of my fans a guitar pick because I believe that, I owe them.
Sure. Well,
not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's not the other way around. So a lot of bands think that they're owed by their fan. No, you owe them.
Right.
I owe my fans. These people have been. I have some fans from 1975, from the first Dictators record. These people are invested in me.
Right.
And invested in me. And I'm not the most well-known guy in the world. And these people are, loyal beyond belief.
Mm-hmm.
And so they, in my, so I have to do meet and greets because that's the way you have to, support yourself.
Right.
And pay for gas and pay for shit like that. But everyone leaves very happy.
Right.
No one leaves my meet and greets or at the end of the night if we're not doing it. Everyone gets a piece of me.
Right. Well, and that's such a difference from, so many acts. There's really two kinds of musicians, at least that I've encountered. There's the kind that think that that the fans are, just there to appease them, and then there's the kind that you think will jump off the stage right after and watch the next band play. And I've seen you play, several times, and you're that guy. You're that guy that will absolutely, hey, let's sign some autographs, let's go have a beer type of a guy.
That's right, and they deserve it.
Yeah,
my people deserve it. They really do.
Absolutely.
And, people ask me to send them stuff. I send them stuff. People, I'll do it. I'm like whatever it takes to make them happy. But it starts with the music. It starts with putting on an amazing show and leaving people smiles on their faces. And the metal crowd is so loyal. It's just beyond so loyal. They're so good. And so the least I could do. Geez.
Right.
The whole process is great. Because. It's satisfying.
Right. Has it gotten to the point, now that you've got, a lot of metal music out, post Manowar, that it's not Ross the Boss Manowar guy anymore? Do fans accept you as Ross the Boss or of Death Dealer? Yeah,
people are accepting, there's a bit of like, oh, this guy is like only is going out to play the Manowar stuff. But now, people know the story. People know that there's a new record. People know that I have 4 records. So many people bring everything for me to sign. I'm signing the old ones all the time. Mm-hmm. Especially now with the avalanche of press I'm getting, when we're getting people are going to, people really know what's the story, and it's kind of blowing up on YouTube now, and so we're enjoying this.
Sure.
We knew that me doing the Manowar classic thing was our portal to the next level, and it's the truth. It's that's what it is.
Right. And there's no reason you shouldn't play those. Right. I mean, when anybody talks about that band, they talk about the albums you played on. They don't talk about any of the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, those first 6 records are immortal. I don't think any band will ever make 6 records like that again in a row. 6 years, 6 albums like that.
Right.
At that depth, no. I think that it's an honor to play that music. We play it with respect and ferocity that it deserves. Because I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't put that music down by not doing the proper job on it. Believe me, Mark sings his fucking heart out on them songs every night.
Right.
It's an honor to play them. So that's how we feel. I mean, that's just, we don't take it lightly. It's a legacy, and we play the shit out of the music.
Right. Definitely do, man. Well, you also play the shit out of the new stuff from Ross the Boss, the band. And the new album, once again, is called Born of Fire. It is killer. I definitely suggest everybody goes and not only checks it out, but buy something. Even if you just download a couple of songs, that helps. Yeah. That helps on some level.
How about if everyone goes out and buys 10 records?
Yeah, well, that would help even a lot more, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So everyone go out and buy 10 records each. Or just tell your friend. Or so just if everyone has like 10 friends.
Yeah.
And everyone buys 10 records. Well, look at that.
Yeah, there you go. How about if just everybody goes...
Give them away for Christmas presents.
Yeah. How about if everybody just goes to a show? That would be the best thing. Everybody go to the show. Then they'll make their decision on their own to buy the record. They don't need us to sell it.
Come see us live. And as a matter of fact, we just finished 26 U.S. shows.
Right.
We ended in Philly last week. Very nice. We wish we had the new record there to be sold, but... the timing just didn't line up, but we made a lot of friends, and I'm sure those people are buying the records now. So, what you can do is come to support the band live, and then at the end of the night, give us all your money.
Very nice, man. Well,
I'm only kidding.
Well, Ross, why don't we wrap this one up with you picking a tune from Born of Fire? Maybe tell us a quick story about it.
Okay. Let's play. What's a good one? Let's play. You know what I have on my? Let's play God Killer.
All right.
It's about killing the evil God, not the good God.
There we go. Quick and easy. So let's check it out right now. It is Ross the Boss. It is the God Killer right here on your Classic Metal Show. Stop digging through the noise and get the metal that actually matters. I'm Chris Aiken, and I'm taking 30 years of industry access directly to your inbox. The Classic Metal Show is officially on Substack, and we're talking world-class interviews here, the unfiltered truth on the latest releases, and the kind of deep dive commentary you simply won't find anywhere else. Listen or watch for free, or step it up to the VIP level for exclusive content that's too heavy for the mainstream. No algorithms, no gatekeepers, just pure high-octane rock and metal history in the making. Own your metal. Join us right now at cmspn.substack.com. That's cmspn.substack.com. We'll see you there.